Hello, and welcome to the 9th episode of Lost Art of Conversations with your host, Joe.
And Paul.
All right, Paul, before we start, let's make sure everyone knows where to find us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Lost Art of Conversations and on Twitter at Lost Art of Convo. I think that's the first time I said that properly. You can also search us by our podcast name wherever you listen to your podcasts and on YouTube. Just remember to follow us and subscribe so that you can get instant notification when a new episode drops. And today's episode, Paul, is titled If You.
If You.
We tend to cut our sentences. You know, we have like one of our first episodes was maybe I will.
Maybe.
And this
improper
time it's
sentences.
If you ...
No question marks or anything. Just,
no, just
if you.
Just if you. ...
Yeah. All
so
right.
so I mean, we after we film every one or two episodes, we always kind of take a break and think about some possible topics, and and of course it's always about thinking about the main theme of this podcast, which is conversations, right? And so one of the things that I think historically, Paul, I would say, and probably you would agree, is that like sometimes you get into these hypotheticals, right? Like you're talking to people and it's a cool way, like as an icebreaker with someone that you don't know, and you're like, oh, like if you had $1 million, what would you do? Or if this happened, if an alien came down, like what would you do?
That's right. Is that one of yours?
No, it's not. It's not. I try to stay away from aliens. Definitely, most of the questions I'm going to ask Paul are more, I guess, on the like fun side. I don't think I got too serious with it.
Yeah, I did the same. I think it's more. I think it's things we've actually asked ourselves about before. Yeah, some of them a long time ago, and that we would, possibly think about more now what we would do. So
I think maybe you put a little bit more time and effort into the thoughtfulness of the questions. We'll
find out.
Mine tend to be a little bit more on the random side.
All right.
Before going into it though, like, part of the discussion too is that like hypothetical questions, while, we're going to have a lot of fun with them today, sometimes it's really important to have these hypothetical questions with people in general, right? Like, so like, for example, if you're getting serious with someone, you might want to talk about some things that could happen in your future.
Yeah, that's the serious, if you would this or that, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Because like even like, for example, like, I don't know, like something like, donating your...
Like kidneys, your organs, or something like that.
Or even like like you don't know what people's opinions are, etc. Those are conversations that you need to have with people.
Yeah, definitely. I think you have to know certain things about certain people, right?
Yeah.
And you wanna get some questions out of the way at the beginning, especially when you meet somebody. I say, if you did this, would you do that? Or are you the kind of person that does this, or are you the kind of person that does that?
Yeah.
And then you also find out for yourself through people's actions and how they handle certain situations, right?
Exactly. And it's about personalities too.
That's right.
You learn a lot about the way, like maybe even people were brought up, depending on how they answer their hypothetical questions.
Yeah, you can tell if somebody was old school or if their parents are old school, if they're like new generation, right?
Yeah.
You can tell how they act and react to things.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we're definitely gonna do like a back and forth with that. I think similar to what we've done in the past, I think, at the end we'll probably have a little bit of a discussion on what were some of the surprising answers that each of us had to some of the hypotheticals. Because again, when we were putting these together, because Paul and I know each other really well, I think we have like this idea of what maybe our answers would be, right? Like I know previous episode I knew Paul was gonna say like he doesn't take a bath often, he'd rather shower.
Yeah, I was thinking about that after as well. And I said, there's no way. Shower it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. So I'm going to start with my first one. And actually, the first one I'm gonna ask you. It was kind of cool because like the other day I was sitting at the dinner table with my wife and the kids, and Adam turned around and said to me, "Oh, like what's going to be your next podcast episode? Like what are you guys thinking?" And I talked about hypothetical questions, and it was like, "Oh, well, give me an example." And so I gave him the example of the next question,
right?
And we spent a good 15-20 minutes talking about what each of us would answer for this question. So it's kind of cool. So I'm interested to see what Paul's going to say.
I'm interested to hear the question.
So the first question, Paul, is If you could only smell one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Wow, that's a good question. It's a hard question.
And when we're giving these, like, I know for a lot of these, we're going to say like one thing or whatever, but I think it's fun to have the conversation of like, what are some of your options you're thinking about? Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be one, but like,
there's a lot of things going through my mind right now. Yeah. For instance, one question I have is, okay, am I going to choose to smell something that brings back a memory? Or am I getting like something?
So are you asking this to yourself?
I'm thinking about the answer right now. Yeah. It's a little bit of a tough question.
It is a tough question.
Smell one thing. Well, okay.
Because either way, you're going to get sick of it.
Well, yeah. No matter it's like what. Anything. You do something a lot too much, you're going to get sick of it. But I don't think any gross things.
Obviously, yeah.
Or maybe some people like that. Yeah. I don't know. Sweet smelling things, maybe. I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, I'm just trying to think if there's any smells that have brought back good memories from before. Yeah. And probably, I think like, when you go to like the beach or something and you smell like there's a different breeze or something and it's like, it's fresh.
This is like a Seinfeld episode. Yeah. The beach.
The beach, right? Yeah, that's right. He bottled the beach, right? The beach perfume.
Yeah, the beach perfume.
But yeah, that's what it is. It's like an oceany type of scent, right?
And probably because it brings peace. Well,
it brings relaxation, right? It brings, I guess, happiness. You're there. Yeah. You're like, okay, the sun, the beach, calmness, and all the waves, right? So I think something along that line. Yeah. Perfume type of smells, maybe not. They tend to be strong.
I guess my problem with the beach smell is that like. For some reason, I can't.
I know what you're going to say.
It's hard to figure out.
Well, there's also fishy smells, right? At the beach. Yeah, especially when you have like the fish are washing up on shore. Yeah. It could be a rancid smell, right? But
I get what you're saying though.
Yeah,
right?
or even like something where you're walking in like you see on movies, right? They walk into like a rainforest or whatever, and I could just see like you could smell freshness. Like a fresh. Like,
because somebody,
it's funny. They have like deodorant, this like ocean spray, right? It's like stuff like maybe not like deodorant exactly, but stuff like that.
Well, I asked my students, and somebody said the rain.
Oh, the rain. Okay.
Yeah, so that's.
Okay, but here's a question. Yeah. What does the rain smell like?
I don't like the smell of the worms after the rain.
Oh, that's not good.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, no, certain things maybe you can't really smell. Yeah, I think. Maybe you can smell everything. You just don't know.
Before we go on too far, though, I do want to reiterate one thing too. Like that's important for us to talk about, and that is the fact that when we ask these questions to each other, it's going to be a lot more challenging for the person answering it for the first time. Like for example, I've had time to think about this, right? Like when I was coming up with it. So like when I start mentioning some of the things I was thinking of, you're going to be like, oh yeah, maybe that too, right? Like for example, one of the ones I was thinking of is. Freshly baked bread.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. Freshly baked bread.
Yeah.
When you just like on a morning.
Yeah.
And you smell it, or even like sometimes maybe not burnt toast, but you put a bread into toast and you start smelling the nice
the
freshness of it, the aroma of it, and it's actually here's like a thing.
Yeah.
Coffee. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the thought. I thought you were going to say coffee.
No. So basically, because now I'm thinking about it, right? Yeah. So I have done this. I'm guilty of it. Where. When the coffee beans run out and I got to refill my machine, it's one of those push button coffee machines. Yeah. I open the bag and I take a nice whiff of the bag and it's just like, oh my God.
You know what? I do the same thing.
Good. But it's like, yeah, popcorn is a little bit of a tangy smell to me, but man, the coffee is just like, my day can start. I don't know what it is,
but
it
is a nice smell.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah. I'll take like 1 or 2 whiffs and then I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. So now to smell coffee forever, I don't know about that, right? Yeah. So I think that's why we can smell multiple things. We're meant to smell multiple things,
right?
Because if we just smell one thing, we wouldn't associate it with anything, right? It'd just be like, oh, there's that one thing I smell and then everything else doesn't matter, right? So
that's why it's called a hypothetical.
Well, that's right, hypothetical. But no, think about it. Yeah. So let's say you're in a garden, right? And all you can smell is one thing in the garden.
Yeah.
So you're looking at certain flowers and you're like, I can't smell that. I can't smell it. Oh, that's the one I can smell. I'm going to smell that one.
So the thing is that I think that, even though you would, like I said, you would get sick of the smell, but I think it would take away a lot of enjoyment in other parts of your life.
I agree.
You said.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
It's one of the things that we do, right? It's one of our senses.
Right. And it's funny how, I guess the other sense is, touch and I guess feel is the same thing, but touch and sight and all that. It's they all have to do with multiple things.
Yeah.
Right. So if we all were able to only feel one thing or see one thing,
then it affects the other senses. First
of all, we'd be all blind more or less. But it affects the other senses, right? So they all work together. I know there are blind and deaf people, but it that's unfortunate. But to smell, I think hypothetically, probably maybe not coffee, but that ocean breeze of something nice like that. Yeah. I think something like pleasing but not overpowering. Yeah. I think that's the key. If it's overpowering, you're like, I'm done with it after the first smell. It'll be too much. Yeah. Yeah. You want a slight smell. Yeah. Now here's the thing. I said ocean smells, right? But isn't that a combination of smells? Because ocean doesn't just smell like one thing, right?
Like, because what the first one I thought of, like there was a tie, it was the bread. And then the other smell I thought of was like baby smell. Like
baby?
Like a newborn baby.
Like baby powder kind of thing?
I don't know. Like, like a freshly washed baby. Like when your kid came out of the bath, like, like one of your kids.
Not like a freshly washed, like a dog smell. No. Like a baby dog.
The wet dog smell is not on my list of top smells.
Yeah, wet dog smell.
But you know what I mean? Like after you just like bathe like a baby and like you're holding them close.
Yeah. They smell different. There's no BO there.
No.
It's a different smell.
Yeah, it's just it's
after you change them, it's a different smell.
It's like a new baby smell, like
That's
a new
right.
car smell.
A new car smell. Imagine new cars had new baby smells in them. That would be something.
I think we just give
it's a new invention.
So anyways, that was my first one. It's interesting because like I said, a lot of people have a lot of different ideas. It's funny because like somebody, like one of my students at school said, like probably like some sort of fruity smell.
Right. Yeah.
And then actually one kid said, myself. I was like, that's
what?
That's a cool answer.
We each have our own smell, don't we?
Right.
You know what? That's good. I like that one.
And you probably smell yourself daily anyways.
Yeah. And there's this saying, I can smell it coming a mile away. Yeah. Right.
So, all right. So that was my first one.
Okay. So I have one. Let me see here. I have a few. I have about 7 or 8. But okay. If you could live anywhere else in the world other than where you are now, where would that be? Wow. So other than, down the street.
Yeah, that's tough. Definitely tough. I mean, there's places in the world that I've always thought of that I would love to live in or even just visit, right? Like, everybody has like their like bucket list of places they want to visit, etc. Right? Like I've always wanted to visit, and we already did that. We did Costa Rica, right?
Yeah.
Definitely Australia also was something that's always been on my list. Hawaii, those places. I think I would venture to go towards some place that I've already visited and really enjoyed. And I would say probably like California. Like I really like San Diego. Like when I went to San Diego, I was really impressed. And I remember turning to Josie and saying like, I would definitely I would move here. Like, cause there's, and for me, it's the combination of like the mountains, the water, like
so it's basically some place that's, well, number one, developed, I guess.
Yes.
Right. It has an economy that's, somewhat flourishing. Right. I mean, that's something that makes sense. Right. And also the weather.
The weather's huge.
I mean, here we have, it snowed like last week and it's May, you know, like something like that. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, definitely that's kind of, I would probably be around that same kind of thing, either California or Florida. A lot of people go to Florida.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I know have houses in Florida. They go there for 6 months or 3-4 months at a time. But it seems like it's old to me. Like everything's 1960s. Like the real estate is 1960s. The look is
the look is off.
Right? And okay, there is a lot of things happening there, a lot of real estate being built. But even like the older people are there, no offense to older people, but all the 70, 80, 90-year-olds, they go there. I feel like the population is just an older generation. From the times that I've been there. Obviously there's central areas like Orlando and things like that, which are very popular. I guess what we're trying to say then is the places we've been to so far, I guess that's a better idea of, I would think what about Syracuse maybe?
No, because I mean, Syracuse is just like pretty much like a slightly southern version of Toronto.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing. So you're basically saying the States. United States.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Like would you go to Vancouver?
If I really took the time, like Vancouver, yeah, I might.
Yeah.
Like now that you said it, like I've been to Vancouver.
I've never been there.
I love Vancouver. Vancouver, similar to San Diego, it's got that you know, it's got the rocky. You would love Vancouver.
Yeah, you know what? My wife's been there. I haven't been, and I think I want to go there.
Yeah, and you would love it because of because like with me, like I know with like knowing you for so long that for you the big thing is even like you know, the nature and like the mountains, all that stuff. That would be something that would be huge.
Yeah,
for
like in Italy when we go there, it's all in the Alps.
Like I already know that if you went to Banff, you would lose your mind. Like you would love that
everybody
place.
says it's amazing, and I'm like, I want to go, and I want to, you know, just we never go.
Yeah, because so when we went to Lake Louise, I was like, wow.
I saw the pictures of that. It's like pristine, right? You got this lake where it's like you can see the bottom.
And the thing too is because you like winter sports too, so like, you know, the ability to switch back and forth. So there's so many options out there, right?
Maybe that's my next trip.
And that's the thing, right? And I think that's why we, you know, both of us enjoy to travel as well, right? Because we do enjoy like, you know, learning about different cultures and even just like visiting other places, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm assuming your answer would be something similar, some place where you probably went or is on your list of places to go.
Yeah, you know what? It's, you know, although we don't like, I like winter. It's fine. Yeah. It's just over here, it seems to stretch longer than we wanted to. You know, it's like 8 months long.
I'd say 10.
But whatever. Well, yeah, you know what? Pretty much. But someplace that maybe you can go somewhere for the winter, but you're always in the summer.
Yeah.
Because listen, a lot of problems happen in winter too. You get dry skin.
Yeah.
You get your joints start to hurt, especially at our age.
Yeah.
And things are just like, there's a lot of things, right? And I've always thought, oh, what if I was in some sunny destination all the time? I'm not talking Caribbean, but something that's like the Californias or something like that, right?
For you, for you though, there's the burn factor.
Well, there's the burn factor. I mean, right now, if you're watching the video of this, I am a little bit burnt, and this is probably 10 minutes outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's I think someplace like that. But also, again, the economy has to be strong. You should be able to get jobs, especially with the skill set and all that. And maybe someplace that's, you know, pro business building, like entrepreneurships, things like that promotes that maybe there's incentive for that. Like that's the kind of thing that I would like.
I wonder how different people's answers are depending on, like, for example, where they currently live, meaning that, you know, we might have that bias that because we've got cold weather, our tendency is going to be to choose a warmer weather. Whereas maybe somebody who's in warm weather all the time,
right? They don't like it.
Might be tired of that.
Yeah, maybe they probably like, I've never seen winter.
Yeah.
Right. And I really, really love to see that.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes.
And then realize I made a mistake.
That's right. And then head back home.
Yeah. Okay, so that was good. That was an excellent question. Actually, that's a question I thought of too. And I actually tried to come up with some questions that were a little bit different because I was worried about repetition, even though like it's true that like it's so hard to repeat, to have repetition on like random questions. Yeah, but you never know, right?
You never know.
Think alike, right?
We're pretty random.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any possibility of you thinking of the question I'm going to ask you now.
All right, go ahead.
One of yours.
Let's see.
Okay, I got to make sure I word this properly.
Go ahead.
All right, so if you could put wings on any animal that currently doesn't have wings and can't fly, which would you choose and why?
Okay. When pigs fly, you mean?
That's my answer. Pigs. See?
When pigs? Okay, but why would you pick pigs?
Just for that reason.
Why do you need pigs to fly?
I would just make pigs fly so that I killed two birds with one stone, literally. Because the pigs would be flying with the birds.
Yeah, that's right.
And then also because then I've also removed that sentence from everybody's vocabulary.
Yeah, no kidding. What if pigs fly? Wait a sec, they do. But then they'll just pick another animal.
Yeah. But like I don't know. It's a pretty random question. But I'm just thinking like,
well, okay, here's
thought.
Well, here's an example. Dumbo, which is the I don't know if anybody remembers that movie, that cartoon movie with the flying elephant.
Yeah.
He had his ears were so big that he was able to fly. Cool concept, right? I mean, an elephant flying,
Disney's
right?
making money again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But any animal. I mean, there's flying squirrels already.
Yeah.
I mean, dogs. No, I think.
I've never watched this movie, but you know that movie, The Never Ending Story?
Yeah.
What was flying there that wasn't supposed to be flying?
What, that dragon thing?
Is it a dragon or was it a dog?
It was.
I've never watched the movie.
It was like I think it was a mixed dog.
I've seen a commercial before. It looks creepy.
It was like a long serpentine, fuzzy.
It was
dragon.
So
dog.
it was something out of a fantasy. It wasn't really like.
No, that was. No,
I mean, the whole thing's a fantasy, right?
The whole thing, yeah. Okay. Atreyu was the guy's name.
Yeah, okay.
I remember because I watched it a lot of times. But I mean, there's fantasy things that fly. Yeah,
but like if you were walking out in the street and you're like, oh, it'd be pretty cool if this animal could fly.
Well, maybe some of the animals wish that they could fly as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe a cat's like, I'm gonna get that bird in the tree.
Or a penguin.
Or an ostrich.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. Like throw it on a bird that doesn't fly, right?
You know what? There's animals with wings that don't fly.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up with that?
Yeah. Right? It's true, right?
Yeah.
So would that be an option?
Okay, but here's the thing: would the wings be feathered or match their fur?
Paul,
well, you got to think physics, right?
I think
how would they fly?
I guess I get it. The point I was trying to make is pick an animal.
Just pick a random
that
animal.
Currently doesn't fly and be like, wow.
Well, some animals, if they could fly, they'd be frightening. Like imagine rats could fly.
Yeah,
and it's just flying everywhere. I guess you're right. A flying bat. A flying rat.
It's a flying rat, Paul.
But it's a tough question.
It is.
And we're not talking insects because a lot of insects fly.
No, it's got to be an animal, Paul.
Like an animal of fair size.
Yeah.
What about horses?
That's cool.
Right?
I like that.
Do unicorns
I think that's
unicorns are not real.
I mean, unicorns are real, Paul.
Yes, I understand. Maybe they are.
Yeah, maybe they are.
But yeah, because I just saw a movie, Jumanji.
Yeah.
It was
Jumanji.
A flying horse.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, that's kind of
cool.
But
and so I thought you were going to say horse.
You know what? Horses are kind of...
Because it's cool.
And you know what? Because they can travel quickly on land.
Yeah.
They could probably fly
pretty
quick too.
It's something that you could imagine.
It's like, I got to go to Florida. Realistic. Take a horse.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So I thought a dog.
You know what? No, wait. That's a great idea because... Okay, you're saying a dog, right? Yeah. Can you ride a dog?
No, you can't.
It doesn't help with your transportation.
It's true. That's a good...
So if you had a horse or similar sized animal...
Yeah, you continue with the transportation aspect.
You don't have to plug it in.
Yeah.
You don't have to fill it up.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to give it food.
You could ride it.
You got to give it food.
Yeah.
And you could ride the horse.
Okay.
Maybe not long distances, but yeah, I think, you know what? That's my answer. It's the horse.
Okay. So now that you said this riding thing, I changed my answer from a dog to a bull.
A bull. Yeah, but bulls are crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's true.
So if you're going to go on a bull and especially if you're in the air, imagine
I think a horse is a good answer. You came up with a pretty good answer. You know what?
A horse is...
And you had less time to think about it than me.
That's right.
Right? I mean, I was thinking even like it'd be pretty cool if I looked up and I saw like a flying skunk, but then I was like, that's disgusting.
Here's the thing now. Think about this.
Yeah.
So if these animals did fly, I'm assuming they would have to have wings big enough to help them fly. Because when people say flying pig, they probably think it's this massive pig with these little tiny wings.
Yeah, I know.
So then, I think...
it changes everything about the animal, obviously.
It's no longer a pig.
But honestly, Paul, I really like the horse answer. Like thinking back, like, you know what? The horse answer...
You get the best of both worlds.
It hits criteria.
And you could take it as transportation somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's...
Yeah.
I don't know if you park it everywhere.
that like, rats ahead of time thought about it and became bats.
That's right. You know what? Flying squirrels really freak me out.
I've heard the concept of flying squirrels, but I've never actually seen one.
So
if you go on, like even on the internet or something.
If you go on YouTube or internet, whatever, you see these things jumping from tree to tree.
Yeah,
it's frightening. Like it basically looks like a squirrel or whatever, and it jumps off the tree, and all of a sudden it opens up into like a square, and it's attached.
Okay,
all the limbs are attached.
Okay, so here's
like a parachute jumping guy.
Okay,
it's freaky.
Okay, so my question is this: did that is that part of evolution? Like, did it evolve to that? Like, or was that species like already kind of there? Like,
honestly, I haven't looked it up. I don't know.
I know. It's something I'd like to look up because even like, for example, like again, thinking about like the flying animals, right? Like I think of like Super Mario Brothers and the flying fish. But there is a flying fish.
Well, Yoshi flies.
No, but...
well, there are flying fish.
Yeah, there is flying fish
in real life. Yeah. I mean, but they don't really fly. They just jump out of the water longer.
They leap.
They leap.
Yeah.
So they're leaping.
They're fish. They're like chicken fish.
Chicken fish.
Well, because chickens
don't fly.
Slightly fly for.
That's right.
For a few moments.
See, I find it like chickens they're struggling, man. They're just like, I want to fly, but I can't. Yeah. And it's like a teaser.
Yeah.
And then you just, have their wings for them.
Yeah. So I like the answer. I like horse. We'll run or fly with horse.
That's right. All right. So my next one would be this. If you had, now I'm sure before I say this, obviously movies were made of this.
Yeah.
A lot of things, a lot of people talk about this, and it's well known.
Okay.
But nobody's proven it. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
If you had the ability to travel in time.
Oh, I have a travel one too.
To any point in time.
Yeah.
What would that be?
Oh my God, Paul, this is a hard
Or
question.
when would that be? Would it be past? Would it be future? Would it be yesterday, today, tomorrow?
This is a I don't know. Like, this is a challenging question for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't like history. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
The past.
But that's why it's a challenge.
Set it and forget it.
Like, there's some people that are like these history buffs, right? So like they know.
I'm the same as you though. I don't.
Yeah, like, they know so much about like stuff like the 18th century and like all these different centuries, right? So they'll be like, 100. They would be able to answer this question like 100%.
Yeah.
18th century, whatever. But for me, like I honestly, history is not something like I liked studying history, like learning about the world wars and like all this stuff, right? But like I it's not something where I like was so interested in like learning like ancient civilizations. And all that stuff. It's not my thing. It's like I've always been a math, science guy, things like that, right? So for me, like I think the answer would be like pretty boring because it'd probably be during some time that I've actually lived. Right? Because like, like, do I really want to go into like, I don't know, the 20s or like during a time where there was like depression?
Yeah. Right. Like you got to think about that stuff. Well, okay. Now we're talking about, maybe we're only thinking about recently, quotations, meaning like the last 100 years.
Yeah.
But what if it's like 1205?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like I don't know enough about those years.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm the same thing. It's like I don't know what happened back then exactly.
Yeah,
probably a lot of fighting, civil wars, maybe with swords.
Because like if you think about even like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
I watched that yesterday.
Yeah. That's what.
It's hilarious, man.
Right. So Bill and Ted, right? Like they and Bill and Ted's gonna come into play in our next episode. Okay, I'll give you a precursor.
Very
to that.
nice. Very nice.
So like Bill and Ted, right? Like they thought they were going to different periods of time, and then they were running into people like Genghis Khan, right?
Right.
And like they didn't have the knowledge because the whole premise of that is that they were going to fail their history exam.
That's right. They needed to do a history exam, a report.
Because they didn't know anything about history.
That's right.
Right. So that would be me. Like me and Paul would be Bill and Ted.
That's right.
You'd obviously be
Bill.
Wild
Stallions. Wild Italians.
Isn't Bill the blonde kid?
Wild Italians.
Yeah, Wild Italians. No, but is Bill the blonde-haired kid?
Bill's the blonde guy. Yeah.
So you're Bill.
I'm Bill. You're Ted.
Yeah. So, anyways, we've got a little bit of skew.
You don't look like Keanu.
Yeah. but what I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I would probably make a vital mistake by saying a year because I would be like put right into like somebody like shooting at me in like a Western film.
Yeah, but what if you could just do it just for observation purposes?
For observation,
like nothing happened. You just were able to go back and see, not to live in the past or the future.
If it was for observation, I definitely go back to like Jesus time.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I would do. Yeah, like, definitely.
Like for observation,
what's happening over here, just to find out exactly.
But then it's like, should I do that? Because then it's like I'm asking for proof.
Oh, that okay. If you go then,
this is a total discussion.
That's another podcast.
Because then it's like, because then it's are you questioning?
Or maybe you're just interested.
Yeah, I'm just interested, right? Right. But you know what? If I had to like go back to like view and stuff, I'd say like ancient Egyptian times.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of my things. I want to see the people who are making these pyramids.
Yeah. That,
and be like,
know what? That's a cool answer.
That's a massive rock being pulled by a string.
Yeah.
On some cinder blocks. Or something, right?
Like
cylinders.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like I have no idea.
I think I would go back to see how things are, like I just said, how things are built.
Yeah.
And how they're made back then.
So what,
without
like
the tech
industrial
that we
revolution kind of thing, or even like
longer
time ago?
like Henry Ford, he was making the car, right? Like, where did he come up with that?
Yeah.
Like, how did he put his pieces together?
Yeah.
To say, oh, look, there it is, or the combustion engine, like that's like what happened there? Who stumbled upon that? I'm sure there's an answer.
That's
obviously
a great answer. And but see, again, like I think our answers right now are more tailored towards like learning. Observing as opposed to like living, right?
Yeah, no, living
we
is
don't know enough.
No, I think we're living in a time we're supposed to be living in, right? Everybody's the same.
Yeah.
But even like, okay, now about the future, right? So, who knows what's going to happen then? But at the speed of technology, which is like an exponential curve, in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I don't even know if I want to see what's going to happen, right?
So
it's kind of scary. Maybe like the past is less scary than the future.
So Paul, I'm going to have to go with my next one then.
Okay, go ahead.
So my next one was, if you could choose to know your future, but it would mean forgetting your past, would you do it?
No, I would not.
I wouldn't either.
No, because your past makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And if you forgot that, you're basically nothing.
Are you starting new? Like, do you think that makes you start new? Like, if
but here's the thing now. Is every day starting new, or am I remembering from a certain point?
Let's say you remember from this day forward.
Okay.
So but see, my problem is,
but that's like you're born today.
Yeah.
Or you're born old.
But you know your future.
Do you know how things work? Like, I was young at one point and now I'm old, or do you not know?
No, you don't know anything.
Then you're a robot.
Okay, not a robot. I'm saying you don't know like how you got to be where you are.
That's amnesia.
I hit my head.
I've seen how many movies like that where it's like, who am I? Oh, I must be. And then they find out who they are after
it's called coming out of a coma.
Yeah, that's right. Repeat the question again. What was the question?
So if you could choose to know your future, but it would mean forgetting your past.
Okay, now, but is that a one-time thing kind of thing? Okay, not the forgetting the past thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, let me know my future. This is what it is. Okay, I wiped all my memory.
Yeah, but then here's the tricky part to this question. If you know your future, aren't you going to try to change it? Like, what path of your future would you know?
Well, see how many future paths are you allowed to know?
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying.
Right? It's like, if you know your future, so
there's some errors in this question.
But then you're going to know what you're going to choose.
Yeah.
So you dictate. It's just like now you're dictating what's going to happen by the choices you make, right? Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? And sometimes if you're leading down a certain path, you're going to end up somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you know for certain that if I make this decision, I'm going to end up there, it's kind of scary. Or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, right?
Yeah.
But to forget your past, it's kind of like,
well, wouldn't it drive you crazy if, like, for example, hypothetically, obviously, like, you forgot your past and tomorrow, like, you're limping and you're like, where did I get this limp from?
Yeah, that's
it's pretty messed up.
Maybe we should make a movie about this, to be honest. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's like a lone person forgets his past.
Yeah.
Or starts out as a certain whatever. Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
So you never remember your past at all. Never remember.
No.
That's kind of...
You have to choose that.
Honestly, no, I wouldn't want that. No.
I wouldn't want to know my future if it meant forgetting stuff.
So in other words, it's the opposite of what happens now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's backwards. It's backwards. You remember your future, but not your past.
It's Benjamin Button.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You're going backwards.
It's like Benjamin Button.
No, I just thought of that. It's kind of... My mind's getting a little bit... thinking a bit more now.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because with these hypotheticals, right? You start to like really think like, okay, obviously this is not possible. It's not feasible, but like, what if it was? Or, like,
well, here's the thing. Would you remember what happened in the future? Think about it.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I
just told you. You're going to know the future.
So in other words, it's like, how you remember something in the past?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I remember that's going to happen. Think about that. Because now you're remembering the future. So isn't that really the past?
But that's a new memory, though.
But isn't that really the past?
No, but that's a new memory. I'm saying from the moment you make this decision, you forgot everything before this moment.
Right.
Right? Then you find out what's happening in the future. And then a minute later, that's your past, obviously, because you just found out. You're going to still remember that because it's your new past because you're living your life. Come on,
Interesting. I understand.
Stay with
However,
me.
No.
I think you're flying on that horse.
It's taking me to the future.
Yeah.
No, but it's there's a reason it doesn't work that way.
Well, obviously, there's a reason why it's a hypothetical.
That's right. But honestly, no. The answer is no. And
okay, so we've been going back and forth, but I do have to add a second one to this because it's another time travel thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so knowing full well that you love Back to the Future.
Yes, I do.
Which is going to be mentioned in the next podcast as well.
500,000 times I've watched it.
All right. If you could text your 20-year-old self one sentence about the future in less than 160 characters, what would it be?
Like a tweet?
Like a tweet. Like a tweet.
Are you tweeting the past?
Yeah. So think about yourself at 20 years old. What would you want to tell your 20-year-old self about the future? Would you choose something that's more personal, or would you choose something that is more
that
like
affects
worldly?
You, that affects the world order?
Affects the world, yeah.
Well, in Back to the Future,
yeah.
If you've seen the second
one,
sports
almanac. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of.
It'd be like bet on Apple,
or
something, or like invest in Amazon.
Well,
put everything you have
buy
in
a
Amazon.
house.
But here's the question then.
Yeah.
By you or me telling our past
selves,
it's going to affect the future.
No. Okay. Like, just Paul, let's just take
this
it
is not. See, I think very analytically.
I know.
And it's so what would I text them?
Yeah.
Like
it could even be something just like, like take it easy.
Yeah. I was gonna say something like relax, that, like what you think is important may not be that important. Right?
Yeah.
Like relax, take it easy.
Yeah.
Live your life kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And or like situations that you think may happen that you think are terrible.
Yeah.
They're really not.
Like that. Should I have changed the question to, if you were 20 years old right now, back when you were 20 years old, what would you want someone to come back and tell you?
Well, it's like your former self. What would you tell yourself?
Yeah,
right?
Because does that change things?
I would say it's...
because at that point, you don't have knowledge.
No, or I would say something like, it's not as easy as you think it is.
Yeah.
But you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
That's all. Something like that. Because a lot of people give up, right? Because they're like, oh, I don't know. Well, I'll just keep going.
Do you think that somebody's answer to this is very much biased depending on what's happening in the moment? Like, for example, how many people right now would probably answer something related to COVID?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Because this is the biggest global event in how many years?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, that changed a lot of things, right? Or I would tweet and say, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Or something, right? Like, it's coming. Invest in masks. Yeah. Or like...
there's going to be this thing called Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Buy it right away.
Buy it right away, but not today because it went down to nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people will say, oh, I just give myself the lottery numbers or something, right? Like, many times over.
Yeah.
Right? Like every lottery number for every draw. But that's kind of like...
That's such an obvious
That's a superficial answer. But I think, I don't know, I would just say like... just to live a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a tough question.
Yeah, it is a tough question.
It's a very tough question. You think you would know the answer right away, but it's kind of like...
hard though.
It's hard to figure that out.
Because like, if you give yourself advice that leads to monetary gains, it doesn't necessarily mean happiness.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything.
Like, do you risk that, or do you give a general opinion on something, or maybe you quickly give a couple of world events that might would impact or have impacted you over time?
Yeah.
Right? That maybe you'll be better prepared for.
Yeah, like prepare for the worst, I guess, or global happenings. But it's tough, man. That's a tough question.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Well, I don't know. Like, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about even something like, going back and like warning myself, like, for example, when my grandmother or grandfather passed away, because they were really close people in my life, be able to have like a final conversation with them.
Yeah,
like,
okay, stuff like that.
Something like that. Like I was trying to come up with like some things in my mind that I regret not doing that maybe I would have liked to have someone warn me that it was happening or it was going to happen. So that like, for example, like we get into these conversations all the time sometimes, like, okay, so like the other day, like even like talking to Josie, like we said like, you know, if we could do it again, like would we have had as big of a like wedding that we had? Maybe we would have had like something more like, you know, relaxed, like in a backyard somewhere or something like that. Right. So like,
certain like, things you would do differently.
Right. Or like go and get married like in a tropical place or something. Not have it in like some big like banquet hall or something like that. Right. So like,
maybe, a lot of people say that right after they do it. Right. Like, oh, we should have done this. We should have done that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But so like maybe that's something that you say to yourself that like, hey, you know what, when you're thinking about getting married or when you're thinking about this, you know.
So, well, a lot of people, I think they would tell themselves about the regrets they have now and to not do them. Yeah. Right. Or just do that thing that you are thinking of doing because you're going to regret it later. Right. Like, I don't know, obviously, take that job that you want to take or something. Right.
Like, for example, like obviously depending on your situation, right? Like for you, like, you know, you might say, hey, like, you know, May 2022, go get your passport redone a month earlier.
Yeah, which is going to be fun lineup to wait in.
Yeah, exactly.
During my current situation.
Right. So again, there's a bias depending on the events that are currently potential, whatever. Or if, you know, somebody that's a loved one went through like a sudden illness or something like that.
Yeah, like to be honest, to think of it on the spot is hard. Yeah, it's like I need to take time to think about that one. Yeah. It's kind of okay, maybe I do this, maybe that. Yeah. You know,
because it's a more meaningful
maybe I do a lot
question.
of things. But like to do it in one tweet, probably just, you know, stick it out. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, 160 characters, you could probably mention a few things, right? Like, like, you know, look out for the year 2020. You know, like,
but maybe this is not even the most significant event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Who knows what's going to happen later?
Exactly. You know, so I think we've traveled back and forth a little bit too much with these questions. So maybe you have one that's a little bit different.
Okay. So I have a few of them. But let's check. Like, okay, I have one about this. So just hypothetically. Yeah. So it's about living forever on Earth. Wow. Okay. So, but here's the twist. Okay. So if you had to choose between immortality or a longer life, but you have no money, no resources. Okay. Or a very short life, but are unlimited resources. Very wealthy, very popular, very whatever.
I might not choose either.
Okay, well, that's the question, though, right?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, right? Like the immortality thing, like if I'm the only one that's immortal,
well, that's
I have to watch all my loved ones die around
over and over again.
Over and over again.
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's tough, man.
So you've got no resources with you. You're immortal. And on top of that, the people around you are dying.
Maybe it's an easy question.
Yeah. So you know, that's the only reason I would go with like the shorter one. But then the shorter one is like if you have all these amazing things, but you're only living a short life, like.
Well, here's the question: like, how short? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
if you're a baby, no. But if you're like our age, and it's like, okay, a couple of years, that's
well, I guess my thing too is that, you know, being like of the faith of what I believe, if during that short life I have these unlimited resources and I'm not using them for good,
that's what I was thinking too. Yes.
My forever life may be somewhere warmer than I want.
Right. And that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I thought about this because I'm like, I was watching this show, what's it called? Highlander.
Okay.
If people out there who have watched Highlander, it's about this these immortals.
Yeah.
Right? And they live forever.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Even though they get killed, they just wake up again and they start again.
It's like zombies or something?
Similar. No, but they're, but they have like, a lot of them have, you know, rich and powerful and live forever, whatever, right? And then they end up fighting to the last one is surviving, right?
Okay.
But I'm thinking about it, I'm like, kind of would
sounds
suck
very like sci-fi.
But I'm like, I think it would kind of suck to live here forever on this, you know, not to say it's bad, but it's just like, you know what? But after a while, you're like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. You know, like it's it. That's it. Just like we talked about in the first few items.
Yeah.
The smell.
Yeah.
You get sick of it after a while. I mean, even in this short time span of our lives, you get sick of certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm tired. That's it. When you're 9 years old, like, okay, maybe it's time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess because if you're living forever or if you're immortal, like what becomes self-fulfilling? Like,
yeah, exactly.
What fulfills you?
Nothing would interest you after.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be, I don't think you'd be fulfilled because you're like, okay, I've done it 1,000 times. I've experienced everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's it, right? So I don't think it's
like,
something I would want to do either.
Like, forever, ever?
Forever, ever, ever.
I mean, it's like forever's forever. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
so basically it's neither of those questions.
I would say, yeah. I mean, if I had to choose between the two, like, not because of the superficial reason of having unlimited resources.
Unlimited resources may not mean finances.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think like living forever is something that is in anybody's best interest.
Yeah, no, I think
personally, there'll be people out there that'll be like, yeah, for sure, let me just live forever. But like,
imagine you live forever, but you grew old also forever. Like, how decrepit would you be?
Oh, so you age.
Imagine you age. Well, I didn't actually. I just think of this now, but imagine you age slower than we do now. Like, but again, forever is like infinity. That's kind of
you live forever. Yeah, you live forever. That means like everything around you gets destroyed as well.
Well, that's the thing, right? Right. Yeah. So eventually the Earth collapses, and that's it. And you're still where you're floating in space.
I don't know.
Right. So, I don't know. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's again. That's why we call it hypothetical.
That's right, hypothetical. But okay, I think we should go with the next one.
That's an interesting question, though. So this one is a little bit different. So, if everything that everyone thought was actually spoken out loud,
oh boy,
do you think the world would be a better or worse place?
I think better.
I think worse.
Worse?
Yeah. It's hard.
I don't know. Okay. I think when everything's out in the open, first of all, people will not say as much.
Yeah, but you have to say whatever you're thinking.
I'm saying, okay, maybe they won't think as much.
that's not a good thing.
No, that everybody's a zombie.
Oh, but I know what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
People will they'll pause.
Yeah, because you know exactly. It's like, I know what you're gonna do. Right?
Because I'm going to say it out loud.
Because you're going to say it out loud.
Yeah. So
Okay, but here's the thing. You would constantly be talking then. Think about it.
I know what you're saying.
Well, think about it.
Okay, but you're taking it to extremes. This is a hypothetical.
So there's pauses in between your speaking.
No, but I'm saying
when you're thinking.
When someone says like, okay, so for example, right? Like, so I give Paul a drink I made, and I say, Paul, how do you like that drink? And his first thought is, that was disgusting.
It sucks.
Yeah, he's gonna say that was disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you just say what's on your mind instead of.
I see. Okay.
Like
like that show, that movie, What Women Want, What Men Want.
Or like Little White Lies. Like,
that's right.
Things like that, right? Yeah. Like, is it better to know the whole truth?
Or Liar, Liar, that movie with Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah.
He says everything he's thinking.
Yeah. He says what I was thinking. That's a good one.
It has to be the truth, though.
I forgot about that.
Right.
It has to
be
true.
I don't know. It's kind of I think it would be. I honestly think it would be better. The reason is this, because you would then maybe do things better.
Okay.
In general. So let's say, you made me that drink, it sucks.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna say, I'm gonna make it better next time. You know that you have to improve on certain things. That.
So you think people would be less sensitive?
Oh yeah.
Right? Because you hear the truth more often.
That's right.
Right? And so like you don't beat around the bush.
Right. Just tell it like it is.
Yeah, it sounds like
I know a lot of people who just conceal everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, just tell me like it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to just tell people like it is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this is what it is. You don't like it, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? But like a lot of people are like, let me think on, let me talk around. It's like, but then what? Number one, how could you help anybody?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, like, if you know what they're thinking.
But Paul, you can't handle the truth.
Maybe about that.
No, but you know what I mean?
want the truth.
Just like from the movie, right?
Yeah.
I want the truth. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I like that idea, what you said, though. I think that, like, you know, a lot of times, like, people go through their life just, like, imagining what they want, like, the answers they want.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing, too, then. Going back to the drink example. So you're making me a drink.
Yeah.
You're also going to say, I hope he likes his drink.
Yeah.
Right? Or that idiot's not gonna. He's gonna say it sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make it and see what he said. Like, I'll hear you say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
then maybe
that's assuming. But that's assuming that, like, I care that much that you like the drink. Maybe it's just a question, right? Like, hey,
okay, correct.
Hey, what'd you think of the drink?
Correct.
Yeah.
But then, so basically, you're giving honest opinions of things. Out in the open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, you know what? I still think it would be.
I'm leaning more towards your answer now, because originally,
think about it. It's kind of like, if it's like, it depends on the kind of person you are, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It's tough to say, man. Is this from birth or just happens one day?
Well, it's all the time.
All the time.
Everybody.
Well, I think that it's probably going to be a lot more people are going to end up being more honest.
Because you have to be.
You have to be, but more respectful, maybe. Because they're going to be like, well, they're going to know what I'm thinking or saying.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think I'm
behavior.
Certain. Yeah, they're going to change behavior.
Okay, but
we'll be different beings.
But okay, so here's where it gets a little tricky, right? But is it change behavior, like, coming from their actual mind and heart, or is that change behavior like trying to fake it? Because then we would know it's fake behavior because they have to tell the truth, right? So like for example, man, I'm gonna, like, if in my mind I'm thinking, well, Paul's gonna know what I'm thinking, so yeah, Paul, that drink's good, right?
Yeah.
But you know that I'm thinking that.
That's right.
Right.
Well, then I would adjust my actions and decisions based on what I know that you're thinking or saying. This is an endless cycle.
This conversation is blowing my mind.
And this is what I really think.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but I and again, I think that what you're saying is correct. And as you're walking me through this scenario, I do now lean a little bit towards it being a better place, the world being a better place if everyone just actually said what they meant. But I think, like, there's always those times where, like, people, like, are going to say what they mean, and it's going to really upset another person. Yeah, well, and it may not be necessary.
No, but sometimes people are like, just tell me what you really think.
Yeah.
Right? And people don't say it.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Right? Whether good or bad or ugly, the truth hurts. Just
I know, but there's also, like, psychopaths out there.
Well, that's true too,
right?
Yeah.
And so, like, some psychopath is going to be like, yeah, jump.
Yeah.
Jump.
That's true
Your
too.
life's worth this. Jump.
That's true too, yeah.
Right? So then that opinion...
that's right.
But then again, that person would have said that anyways.
They would have said that anyway.
Because they're a psychopath.
They're psychopaths, right? But then, I don't know.
It's hard.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't happen this way.
That's why it's a hypothetical.
That's right.
Okay, so if everything everyone thought was actually spoken out loud, do you think the world would be a better or worse place? We lean slightly towards better.
I think so.
Yeah, I think...
It could be naive to think that, but you know what? Yeah. That's my stance.
Yeah, all right.
Or maybe that's my hope, which will
Paul,
never happen. But okay, so let me see here. This is a morbid question.
Oh, God.
And probably you know what it is.
No, I don't.
Which is, I thought about it too. But and maybe people out there have asked these questions before. Okay. But anyways, if you knew exactly when you were going to die, the date, the time, whatever.
We talked about this at school once before, too.
Okay, so what would you do and how would you act differently, or...
Like, how would your day be different?
How would your day be different, whatever? And I guess the next question is, so if it was closer or further, maybe that's a question. I don't know.
So...
And you know what?
It's a very
nobody knows the answer.
Yeah, it's a very challenging question, and I think the reason why it's challenging is that for example, someone might say, like, if I knew I was going to die today, like I would, like, pray the rosary.
Yeah, but that's
But, like, would it, like it's like you're trying to trick God.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to do something to help something or something, or I don't know.
I just
maybe
saying,
not
like,
yourself.
like you're not, if you know you're gonna die, like you're not gonna change the person you've been up until this point in 24 hours or in the 2 hours.
I don't know. Maybe you will. Think about it. I don't know.
Can you though?
Well, here's the question. Here's the generalization of this. We all know we're going to eventually.
Yes.
So why aren't we doing that now? What does it matter if it's going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? We think we have unlimited time.
Right? The whole sentence of live your day like it's the last, like every day it's the last, right?
But people just say it and write it off.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying I like how many people like that, might know that it's their last day on earth or their last hours or whatever, just all of a sudden are enlightened.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know,
yeah,
to be honest.
I don't know how, like maybe we're thinking too much about like movies or like hypothetical things like that. Right? But like generally speaking, I don't know if someone is just told that or they have knowledge of that, if it's going to like make them all of a sudden like take 45 years of their life that's being lived a certain way and then all of a sudden change it all of a sudden because you're going, like, for example, if for 45 years I'm not even 45 years old, so I don't know why I'm saying 45 years, but like if for 40 plus years I lived my life in a non-Christian way, right, and then it's like, oh, like I want to go to heaven, so like for 1 hour I'm gonna be really good. I don't think I'm going to heaven.
No, listen, it's a lifestyle you have to. It's not like a day thing.
Yeah,
one day you're done. No. And it's not like they repent on your deathbed.
Yeah, and then and that's what I'm saying. So like, are your decisions, other than telling the people maybe that you love them, or like having conversations with the people that you really want to make sure you have like a lasting impact on the people that are staying back,
right?
For example,
that's
true. Is that more important than you trying to fulfill something for yourself, like fulfilling a memory for a loved one?
Yeah, right. Will it become about you or somebody else after? Right,
that's what I'm saying, right? Like I think that point. Right? Is it really about you anymore? Like, because if you're going, you're going.
You're going. That's it. Why waste time?
So how are you gonna have? I think my decisions would be based on how am I going to leave the people who care about me in peace.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Before I go, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me say what I need to say, or do what I need to.
Well, think about it. Nothing else would matter. No. Money, fame, popularity, nothing matters.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. You would. I think you would change your. Like, if you knew definitely, not maybe in that day. If you knew like tomorrow, the next day, that's it.
I think about this often, Paul.
Yeah, me too. We're getting.
I know that you do, because we've had conversations like this. Even
that's right.
Even the Tim Hortons and Bold.
That's right.
But like, it's something I think about often. Like, sometimes even like going to sleep, I'll think in my mind like, okay, like what could I have done better today? Like, like, what would have, like, right now, if I were to like pass away, or if I wasn't here tomorrow, like did I do enough? Or like,
and that's something that, well, I mean, I thought about it too. I'm sure everybody thinks about it, right? When you're younger, not so much, but when you're getting older, you're like, okay, first of all, did I do everything I thought I was going to do or accomplish? Maybe not for myself or other people. And like, again, was I a good person?
Yeah. What
did I do that wasn't selfish, I guess? Yeah. I don't know. A lot of, it's very hard.
Yeah, it's challenging for sure. So I think that, though I would tailor my answer towards what I just said. I think it would be more about like deciding, okay, if this is my last day, like I want to make sure that the people around me, my most like loved ones around me, I put closure on it for them.
Yeah,
right?
I think you would,
because they have to continue living.
I think it would. Yeah, right. And I think it would definitely prioritize what's really important. Not materialistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Garbage.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
okay, so we've gotten pretty serious with some of these.
Yeah, it was pretty serious.
So let's get into something a little bit more lighter.
Sure.
So Paul, if your life was made into a movie,
maybe it is a movie.
What actor would you want to play you?
Okay, don't say Neil Patrick Harris.
I'm not gonna say
even though
NPH.
What actress would you want to play me?
Yeah, like if you're like, it's an interesting question, right? Like it kind of like it kind of gives people the idea even of like what you think about yourself, right? Because right now, if you said like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
well, see, here's the thing: some actors are over the top, but I would have some I would like some qualities in certain actors, like Jim Carrey, for instance.
Yeah,
he could be serious, a really good serious actor, but then he's funny.
Yeah,
and I think like I'm kind of I have funny moments and also serious, right? A lot of times. Maybe like a Jim Carrey, but not over the top Jim Carrey.
Okay,
like maybe
not the extreme,
not like
Ace Adventure,
Fire Marshal Bill, Jim
or
Carrey,
Ace
right?
Ventura,
Ace Ventura, that kind of. That's like extreme,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
but maybe in like Bruce Almighty kind of thing, a little bit like that.
Yeah, okay.
Right, but if you do like I'm just thinking of blonde actors, I don't know why, like Ryan Gosling is too serious, right? Like I'm not saying I look like these guys, but like Brad Pitt. Too serious, forget it. Or
but does it have to be a blonde actor?
No, it doesn't.
Because I mean,
maybe like
there's hair dye, Paul.
I was thinking of even like the guy, like what's that guy from? Was it? I saw him in a movie yesterday. Topher Grace or something.
Oh, yeah,
the guy from that 70s.
That 70s show.
Is that 70s?
Yeah. I think so. Topher. I remember.
Okay,
not many people named Topher. So.
Not many people though.
Yeah.
Or maybe like. I don't know. Because Jim Carrey is one of my favorite actors, but and it is fun. He is funny,
and that's the bias, I think.
Yeah.
If
it's your favorite actor, then that's what you think you're gonna play.
For me, it's Al Pacino. Right?
Maybe it is.
Yeah. Right.
It's Al Pacino. Eh?
Well, and I was thinking about the same thing.
In what movie?
Right. So that's the thing, right? So, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, because I like the fact that like. Al Pacino does like the serious, like, the Godfather movies, stuff like that. But then I also like Scent of a Woman.
And that was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah,
right?
That was great.
So like, and I love the actor, right?
He's a great actor.
Right? So I'm like, if I want someone to play me, I'd like to be someone I respect and that I would love to meet and that like I enjoy movies.
That you think you would get along with.
Yeah, and
right?
that they could play any role. So like they wouldn't care playing me because who am I, right?
Right. Yeah, right. Or you know what? Here's another one.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd. Doc Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe when he was younger.
Yeah.
Just the
well, especially because you like Back to the Future.
Well, that's Back to the Future, but I also like, just because of that movie, to be honest. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of like the same qualities as that guy.
I don't think you choose Christopher Walken.
No,
because of the time that he mumbled in that movie, and we didn't know.
We still don't know what the thing is.
We still don't know what he said.
And I don't think there's even like a script for that, so we can read into it.
No, there isn't.
No.
But anyways, it's a cool question. I definitely would go with I even thought like Robert De Niro because he's done funny movies. I think like I like to joke around and stuff too. So like that movie there. What was it? The one where like Meet the Parents.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
So he's funny in that, but he's also done serious movies like Taxi Driver.
The Godfather.
Yeah, Godfather.
Right.
So
he was amazing in the number 2, I think it was.
Yeah, it's number 2.
Yeah. Amazing.
So
but,
so it's interesting because I think we tailor towards the movies that were funny or even like movies that are like serious and funny. Okay, actors that could do a little bit of both. I don't know, Paul. Do you have? One last one because I think I have just one last one, so it's up to you if you have one final one.
Okay, I could do one more.
Yeah, okay, we'll do one more.
So basically, when you're a kid, you wanted to do something
like a baby goat or like a kid,
like a flying pig,
a child,
like a flying pig or a horse. Yeah. No, when you were younger. So if you ended up becoming what you wanted to be when you were younger, what would that be and why?
Oh, that's interesting.
So like, I want to be an astronaut. Okay, what if that happened?
Yeah. I don't know. You know what the thing is that like, it's weird, right? Because thinking back to when I was a kid, like when I was like getting a little bit older and like getting into school and stuff, like I wanted to be like in something involving math and stuff. So like
yeah.
everyone said, oh, you should be an accountant. But like
that's boring.
Yeah, I didn't really want to like. It's just because people around me were saying be an accountant.
Yeah.
Right? Honestly, I think as a kid, like one of the things I probably dreamed of doing, which goes with my last question actually, is I think I always wanted to be a baseball player.
Really? Nice.
Because I just remember like playing in my backyard, throwing the ball like endless times, like against the wall, like, and just pretending that I'm in a baseball game. And I was collecting baseball cards, and then afterwards, like
soccer
during
stickers.
During the like the Blue Jays were getting really good during the years where like I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. Right. So I think definitely like, and funny enough is that like if you ask me now, I would say like I don't even watch baseball anymore.
Yeah, it's funny,
right?
How things
but
change.
like I think back then I would have probably said, I'm like baseball player. Like, that'd be so cool to be a baseball player, hit a home run.
Yeah,
I pretend I was running the bases and all that.
Especially
stuff.
when we're kids, we play sports. We want to get into that. We're like, I could be a professional, this and that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
What about you?
For me, I think it was kind of two things. One, I always thought I wanted to make something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what does that mean? So entrepreneur, but like invent something.
Yeah, inventions,
things like that.
Yeah. Which goes along with what we've always tried to do, come up with ideas.
We never
creative.
did.
Yeah.
But we always had ideas.
Yeah.
But something that was creative and building something and doing something like that. That or like a doctor, right? Like a surgeon, actually, right?
Doogie Howser.
But the thing is, like, once you start to think about like, okay, do I want that life? Like when you're older, like, okay, doctor, surgeon, I'm never going to be home. I'm always on call. I'm like, it's kind of like you balance between, okay, freedom.
Well, I mean, considering that
like,
there's been, I think, more than one instance where you've almost fainted when you've seen blood.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty.
So that could
every time I get a needle, it's like, okay, thank you.
It's one of the reasons why you're not a surgeon.
That's right. Well, but I really wanted to be.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Actually, in art class.
Yeah.
But this was later on, like in, I guess, grade 7, 8.
Yeah.
I built a clay cross section of a heart.
That's cool.
With valves and I still have it. I use it as a paperweight.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And then I changed my mind.
Yeah.
So
that happens, right?
But it happens because you explore.
Yeah. We always said that at some point during one of our podcasts, we'll talk about career changes. Because you've been through a lot of different changes when it comes to work and stuff. But that's a cool question. And actually, my last one goes along with that. So we'll do a quick one. And it would be, if you could be a top tier professional athlete of any sport, what would it be?
Okay. Now, does it depend on what age you are at
Currently.
this time? Currently?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Not a lot of sports at
this
age.
So, in your prime.
In your prime.
Yeah.
I was pretty good in my prime. In my prime. To be honest, I liked hockey.
Yeah.
Man, it's a tough question. So the question is,
if you could be a top tier professional athlete of any sport, what would it be?
You know what? Even though I played hockey for a long time, maybe not.
Yeah.
To be honest. And although I don't play a lot of it, maybe golf.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Because of the nature.
Because
it's relaxing.
Right, but
and the longevity.
But it's difficult.
Yes.
It requires more. Okay. I'm not gonna bash anybody's sport.
Yeah.
I love hockey.
Yeah.
But for me, it's rough. You break things.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you break things in golf, but golf, I feel like it's like you need a certain skill to hit that thing where you want it. And look how many people practice their entire lives.
Yeah, I know.
And they still throw the stick.
But
the club.
I also think, for me, when I was thinking about it, my first choice was going to be basketball because I love basketball.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But then when I was thinking about it more, I was thinking I would want to do golf because I could age with golf.
I was going to say that next.
The longevity.
You could golf at 70.
Exactly.
Right?
Whereas, like, I'm not dunking anything other than donuts.
That's right. At that age.
Yeah.
At that age.
Yeah.
So, but it's a sport. It's like a recreational, social, and it's like, it's kind of cool, man. Like nature, right?
Yeah.
You can go on a cliff in a mountain
go around
top.
the world.
Around
you
the
can
world.
golf in golf courses around the world.
That's right.
Right? So and so
you know what? That's
It's like it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. It truly. And you know what? It's like there's so many things based on that.
And if you ask a lot of guys too, right? Like oh, what do you want to do when you retire? Oh, I'd love to golf.
I love to golf. Yeah, that's the first thing they say.
A lot of times people do that, right? Because it's just like I suck at golf.
Yeah, I'm not that great. Yeah, either. No.
But it's rare that I come back from golf and I don't say, you know what, it was fun.
It's tiring, man.
Yeah, it's
especially if you.
Tiring,
I walked the course the first time ever, I think last year. Yeah. And I recorded it on my watch. Yeah. 15 kilometers.
Yeah, that's like my steps.
And I'm like, no, sorry. Was it 50? I think it was 15K, but it was like 30,000 steps.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but that makes sense.
And I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? How do these guys do it? Like, I was done.
Yeah.
That was it, right?
Yeah, and also the sun.
And the sun was like beating down and burning. Yeah. But I think it's golf.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
Cool.
Yeah.
So before we end off, we're thinking about like maybe some answers that like surprised us, etc. Like I don't know, there wasn't many surprising answers from you. I think I could predict most of what you said. I thought that your answer for the smell was going to be something more food related.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I did think it was going to be something like I don't know. I was thinking like gorgonzola cheese.
Imagine you smelled that every day. Oh man, that would be terrible,
right?
Even though it smells really good. I think anyway.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that's the surprising one for me. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think the time traveling thing. I was more like we only talked about the past.
Yeah.
You never once said the future.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna say, the future. I want to know what's happening. Like I kind of said that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but all you said was the past and history and all that. So that was interesting.
Yeah. So
how about other people? Do they think like, okay, if you time travel, would you go to the future only?
Yeah.
Because we already know the past.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know the future.
Yeah.
Or do we, according to your last question?
Yeah.
Your second question, right?
I don't know, man. It's you know what? The thing with these hypotheticals is that like my brain kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah, you know what?
Because you start to really think of like outside the context of like reality.
That's right. Yeah, because it's backwards.
Yeah.
It's like things that don't exist.
Yeah.
That's why they make movies.
Yeah. And then you start thinking, okay, but what? And that's why it's funny because most of these scenarios, we because the way me and you think, like we're constantly asking each other like follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, does it mean this?
That's
right.
That? Yeah.
Right? Because we're always seeking clarification.
That's right. But there's always questions to it, right? It's It's not a simple question.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
right. Well, hopefully, Paul, if we asked our audience, could you only choose one podcast to listen to, that some would answer ours. Hopefully. But as always, we thank you for losing yourself in our conversations. And until next time, I'm Joel.
I'm Paul.
See ya.